The Topeka City Council meeting will come to order. If you would rise and give your attention to Councilman Harmon for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening and welcome. Will you all join me in a moment of silence? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is my honor to acknowledge the outgoing council members tonight. It is important that we certainly acknowledge their leadership, their dedication, and what they have performed on behalf of the citizens of our city. First is Councilman P.J. Brown. PJ, we recognize you and appreciate your outstanding and dedicated service for the citizens of Topeka. We appreciate your service on behalf of Council District 2 and for the entire city. Thank you.
It's been a humbling experience and an honor to serve the residents of District 2 and the residents and citizens of Topeka. I just want to take a couple minutes to thank the members of the old council for your support and your camaraderie as I've been a member of this body, and also to wish the new council wisdom and good judgment as you go about your duties. I wanted to thank my wife Dawn for putting up with the long days and long hours that have been involved since I came back on the council in June, and I plan on staying involved in activities in my district in the city of Topeka. So thank you very much.
Councilman Manspeaker. It is an honor to present this in appreciation of your outstanding and dedicated service to the citizens of Topeka, and particularly to District 6, the service there, to all the residents, and also to the city of Topeka. Congratulations.
Amazingly enough, I don't have very much to say. I would just like to thank my family who's here this evening for allowing me the opportunity to serve, for the constituents who voted for me and allowed me the opportunity to serve, and lastly to the citizens of Topeka who I tried to do the best thing for every chance that I could. Thank you.
Councilman Schmidt. Councilman, it's an honor to recognize you in appreciation of your service, dedicated work on behalf of the citizens of Topeka, and particularly for the residents of District 8 and also everyone in the city. Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. I just want to say it's been an honor to serve the citizens of Topeka. It's an awesome responsibility. I appreciated all of the work of fellow council members, staff, and all the support that we've had. I think we've made a lot of great progress, and I hope it continues. And I wish the best of luck to the new council in facing all of the issues that are before you.
Now we will continue with the installation of the new council members. If the municipal court judge Miller would come forward, we'll introduce her. The first person is Councilwoman-elect Sandra Clear. If you'd like to come forward, and members of your family that you wish to come up and participate.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and that I will faithfully fulfill the duties of
and I will faithfully fulfill the duties of
Topeka City Councilwoman, District 2.
City Councilwoman, District 2.
So help me God.
Help me God.
Go.
Thank you. I would like to introduce my family, my husband Randy Clear, my daughter Crystal Wiltz, and Casey Wiltz. And I would like to thank everyone that got out and voted last week. And I want to thank everyone that was so kind and warm and welcoming to me during my campaign. Thank you very much.
Next from Council District 4, Jonathan Shum and his family.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and that I will faithfully fulfill the duties of
and I will faithfully fulfill the duties of
City Councilman, District 2.
City Councilman, District 4.
Very good.
That's 2 times in a row, and fortunately, you guys know your district. Most important part, so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
This is indeed a day for thank yous. I want to thank my wife Allison and my kids for allowing me to run. 2 of my greatest volunteers during the race, I'll call out by name Gerald Giles and Harry Bishop. Thank you for your countless hours driving me around to knock on doors. Thank you to the many others I don't have time to mention tonight. I appreciate it, and I hope that I will continue to earn the privilege to serve you well.
Councilwoman Clear, if you want to come on up, Councilman Shum, come on up and have your places here. The next person is from District 6, Brendan Jensen.
Or do you want to roll? Hand on the Bible. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and that I will faithfully fulfill the duties of
and I will faithfully fulfill the duties of
Topeka City Councilman, District 6.
Topeka City Councilman, District 6.
So help me God.
So help me God. Good evening. I want to thank you all for coming out to see us this evening. This is my lovely fiance, Amber Beckley, who agreed to marry me at the height of the campaign. Yes, so I know she's a keeper. I want to thank everyone who helped me get to where I am now. I could not have done it without my team. This is way more than just me getting elected. It's everyone working together. And I look forward to representing my district and the fine folks of the city of Topeka. Thank you so much.
From District 8, Jeff Cohen. Good. Job.
Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas.
and that I will faithfully fulfill the duties of
And I will faithfully fulfill the duties of
Topeka City Councilman, District 8.
Topeka City Councilman, District 8.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
First of all, I want to say thanks to my wife and family for giving up many suppers together during this time, and thank you for that. I also want to say thanks to my family, who I see a lot more extended family out there. Thank you all for your support, and especially Miriam. Thank you for driving me around all those cold and snowy days. Thank you.
There are a number of visitors here this evening. During our council meetings, this is the point there we have proclamations that we recognize important elements or occasions or organizations in our community. And tonight, we are recognizing Fair Housing Month. I would like to ask to join me Terry Leatherman of the Housing and Credit Counseling Center and Amy Cohen, co-chair of the Human Relations Commission. Here. We will read a proclamation. Whereas April marks the anniversary of the passage of the Fair Housing Act of 1968, which sought to eliminate discrimination in housing opportunities and to affirmatively expand housing choices for all Americans. And whereas the Fair Housing Act extends a further guarantee that all Americans, regardless of race, gender, color, nationality, religion, family status, or disability, receive equitable treatment in their pursuit of housing choices. And whereas the city's longstanding partnership with Housing and Credit Counseling and the City of Topeka Human Relations Commission has led to expanded outreach and broader awareness of fair housing law among the most vulnerable populations. And whereas the ongoing struggle for dignity and housing opportunity for all is not only the exclusive province of the federal government, whereas vigorous local efforts to combat discrimination can be as effective, if not more so, than the federal office. And whereas illegal barriers to equal opportunity in housing, no matter how subtle, diminish the rights of all, now therefore be it resolved that in the pursuit of the shared goal and responsibilities of providing equal housing opportunities for all men and women, I, Larry Walgass, Mayor of the City of Topeka, do hereby proclaim April 2015 as Fair Housing Month and encourage all agencies, institutions, and individuals, public and private, in the City of Topeka to take action to end unlawful housing discrimination. Thank you. There are no presentations this evening, so we will proceed with the roll call.
Mayor Wolgass.
Here.
Council members Hiller.
Here.
Clear.
Here.
Ortiz.
Here.
Shum.
Here.
De La Isla.
Here.
Jensen.
Here.
Schwartz. Here. Cohen.
Here.
And Harmon.
And it is at this point that we acknowledge if there are any additions or deletions to the agenda. And I believe we have several additions tonight. Actually, one is a noise exception and one is an alcohol exception. We're going to handle those a bit differently, and I'll ask the city attorney to describe.
Yes, with the passage of the charter ordinance and the change of the mayoral vote, those can now be placed on the consent agenda because those are items that he can now vote on. So they won't be don't have to be on the action items, they can be on the consent agenda.
Okay.
Well, awesome.
And council members, you receive a copy of this in front of you. Those are the two items being added to the agenda this evening, and I'll call on Councilwoman Hiller to make the appropriate motion.
Thank you, Mayor. Do I still need to, these are still separate resolutions. Maybe in the future we can combine them, but I need to make
Correct.
separate motions, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, I would move to add I have two resolutions with me. They are both regarding First Fridays, starting in May. The first Friday in May, June, July, August, and I think September, no, just August. They need to be added this evening because they've got to get their alcohol permits. So we should always explain when there's an urgency to add something. That should not be the norm. So they're related. The first resolution I would request adding has to do with granting the noise exceptions for the Celtic Fox and Downtown Topeka Inc. for the block where the outdoor party would be, which is on 8th Street between Jackson and Kansas Avenue. And the noise resolution is from 7 p.m. to 1:30 a.m.
Okay.
So move to add.
And Councilwoman Delisla seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. I vote yes.
We have 10 yes.
And having voted yes, it is added to the consent agenda. And the second one, Mrs. Hiller?
The second one is for the same event, same series of events. It is the approval to allow the possession and consumption of alcohol at those same events between the hours of 5:30 p.m. and 1:30 a.m. on those same First Fridays. Move to add.
Okay, it has been moved. Is there a second? Ms. Delisla seconds. Discussion. All those in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. I vote yes.
We have 10 yes.
Those are the additions to the agenda. There are no deletions, and also there is no executive session tonight. So we will then proceed with the consent agenda.
A are minutes of the regular meeting of March 17, 2015. And there's a list of open after midnight application renewals. Staff is requesting approval on that. There's approximately 36 of those. Item C is a resolution introduced by Councilmember Karen Hiller approving a special event known as the 2015 First Friday Concert Series. And item D is a resolution introduced by Councilmember Karen Hiller granting Downtown Topeka Inc. and the Celtic Fox and its section to the provisions of City of Topeka Code Section 945-150 at seat concerning noise prohibitions.
Okay, you have heard the consent agenda. Councilman Harmon?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd move to approve the consent agenda as read.
It has been moved. Councilwoman Schwartz seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor vote yes. Opposed vote no. I vote yes.
We have 10 yes.
Then, having voted yes, the consent agenda is approved as read. We will then go to the action items. Election, item A, election of mayor, if the clerk would read.
A is election of deputy mayor to serve a one-year term pursuant to Topeka Municipal Code Section A2 26B.
Okay, this is an action item that we have a person who is signed up to speak on that, Mr. Joseph Ledbetter, if you would come forward.
Evening, governing body and new council members. The reason I'm speaking on this item is, first off, it is important who you choose to be your deputy mayor, and I don't think it should be based on seniority. One of the criteria I'm looking for in a deputy mayor is somebody that'll actually pay attention to the JADO portion of their job, because I actually have a vote on those, at those meetings and on those budgets. And so I think I can speak very clearly on behalf of Citizens for Accountability in Government. We've already had 6 meetings. We've met with various members of the governing body, including the mayor and the manager, and we're very sincere in our desire to see the economic development portion of our sales tax opened up to public scrutiny, accountability, and public input. And in the 13 years we've had this agreement, that has not happened. Placing the public at the end of the JADO meetings for 4 minutes is barely saying, yeah, and so what? It's really almost an insult. We are hardly allowed to speak. We have hardly any input. And I'm looking for somebody, and I hope you support somebody. I don't know who that's going to be yet. I have a suspicion. But I hope you pick somebody that will take their fiduciary duties very seriously over this $5 million a year of economic development funds. Will ask tough questions and expect answers out of the CEO of Go Topeka when he's up here, and have him answer on the record to all your concerns, not call on somebody else. And it's okay to call on somebody else, but if you're being paid $406,000 a year, you should know the answers, or at least most of them. I want to say that I would support somebody that, obviously I don't have a vote on this, but somebody that is going to take those duties of oversight very seriously and not continue the pattern that we've had of acting like it's not your job, it's not important, we don't care, leave us alone, we don't want to hear it, because our group is growing and we're going to continue to make our presence known. And I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. We will proceed then with the election of the deputy mayor. Any council member may nominate someone, and also there are no seconds. There's no need for seconds. So we have the nominations, and then we will vote. Councilwoman Schwartz?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have the honor of nominating a fellow councilwoman who I believe has all the experience and knowledge that is needed for this job. That is the one thing Mr. Ledbetter kind of left out, was the experience and the knowledge of being on the council for as long as she has, knowing the ins and outs. I know that she does her homework, and she'll know more about the budget process, which the deputy mayor has to chair. I just really think that she is senior and needs this to happen so that we can go back to a little bit of seniority playing a part in this. So I nominate Councilwoman Karen Hiller.
Okay, Councilwoman Hiller has been nominated. Are there other nominations? Are there other nominations? Are there other nominations? Seeing none, we declare the nominating process to be closed. You have a ballot in front of you, the salmon colored. If you would please vote.
No, the yellow.
What'd you say?
Yellow, you said salmon.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's yellow or pale yellow. If you would vote and sign your name, please. And then the assistant city clerk is going to come around to pick them up so that we make sure we get all the ballots.
We have Hiller, 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 and Hiller.
We have 10 votes. Congratulations, Deputy Mayor Hiller. Look forward to working with you. We'll proceed to the next item B on the agenda, if the clerk would read.
B is election of 2 city council voting representatives to serve a 1-year term on the Joint Economic Development Organization, JEDO Board.
And we have the person signed to speak to that issue, Mr. Ledbetter.
Thank you for that early recognition, governing body. I'm reminded that the battle is not always to the swift or to the strong, but to the perseverer. Again, I'm hoping that we will get people tonight on this JADO board that have, all of you have input, or you're supposed to. I hope we get some people who will pay attention to this job very seriously and answer the questions. When the public asks them to get input, that they will be dutiful and get that input or those facts, not just brush them off. Say, well, I don't know, I don't have to know, I just got here. I do not believe that that speaks well when people do that to the public. And I want to remind you a couple facts that came out of one of the JADO meetings earlier this year by Go Topeka's very own consultant. Poverty is growing in the city, in county, and we're now losing population. Those are two key elements that should be, you should be greatly concerned with economic development. If you see a model that's not working, change it. Don't just keep the same program year after year because we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. We don't need the Peter principle at work in this government. And so I very strongly urge you, passion, please, if you get elected to this, do your job, do your full duties. I'm not talking about the council members as council members. I believe you all do that. But we've had a disconnect for years that we don't have to pay attention to economic development. We give it to a contractor. We don't have to ask questions. We don't have to look into what they're doing with our money. And it's time for it to end. It's past time. And it's affecting our economic development. It's affecting our jobs. We're having out-migration of people to Kansas City because they can't find good paying jobs in Topeka. And there's no reason for that. It's called just do your job if you're in charge of economic development. Listen to the public for once. You'd probably get some great ideas if you'd make them welcome instead of having secret meetings and secret handshakes and keeping the same board members for 10 and 12 years that obviously don't know what they're doing when it comes to economic development. So I urge you, please do your job in this. Take it seriously. If you are elected, do the fiduciary responsibility, do your oversight, and I'll be there to commend you. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. We have, I'm sorry, we do not, we do not show support or opposition to any of the speakers. We show respect for them, and we keep our comments to ourselves. We will now proceed with the election of the Joint Economic Development Organization Board voting members. First, all council members are members of the Joint Economic Board, as the 3 county commissioners. The 3 county commissioners have a vote, and then 4 members of the city council have a vote. The mayor, the deputy mayor are voting members, and then tonight, the council elects 2 others to serve as voting members of the board. And actually, for new members, we somewhat perhaps said it quite not correctly, but in the vote, we will have nominations, and then we vote once, and you vote for 2 people. And the 2 highest, the people with the highest numbers are elected, although they have to have 6 votes. So if they do not have 6, then we will then we will vote again. Okay, so then if that's the background, we're now open for nominations to be the voting members of the council to JADO. Councilwoman De Lisla?
I would like to nominate Councilman Richard Harmon.
Okay, Richard Harmon has been nominated. Councilman Shum?
I would like to nominate Councilman Jeffrey Cohen.
Jeffrey Cohen has been nominated. Are there other nominations? Councilman Jensen?
I would like to nominate Councilwoman De La Isla.
Councilwoman De La Isla has been nominated. Councilwoman Hiller?
I would like to nominate Councilwoman Ortiz.
Councilwoman Ortiz has been nominated. Are there other nominations? Are there other nominations? Are there other nominations? Seeing none, we declare the nominations to be closed. We have 4 council members who have been nominated: Richard Harmon, Jeffrey Cohn, Michelle D'Isla, and Sylvia Ortiz. So if you would vote for 2 and sign your ballot.
Okay, we have Ortiz and Cohen, De La Isla and Harmon, De La Isla and Cohen, Ortiz and Cohen, Ortiz and Cohen, Cohen and Harmon, De La Isla and Harmon, De La Isla and Harmon, Ortiz and Cohen, De La Isla and Harmon. Okay. We have 6 for Councilmember Cohen and 6 for Councilmember De La Isla. No?
No,
5. Here we are again. So we, right?
So we would,
Yes.
we would declare Jeffrey Cohen elected as one of the
Yes.
board members. One of the voting members. Councilman Harmon,
Thank you, Your Honor. With the indulgence of the chair, I'd like to withdraw my name from further consideration.
okay, Mr. Harmon withdraws his name. Mrs. Ortiz?
Thank you. With the mayor voting now, is it a different number or is it still 6?
It's 6.
It's not 7?
No, it's 6.
It's 6.
Yeah, it's a majority, which would be 6 out of the 10.
Okay, and then with Richard's withdrawing, so who's left? Me and Delisa?
It is, those who are still nominated would be Michelle D'Isla and Sylvia Ortiz.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and excuse myself as well.
Okay, so Councilwoman Ortiz withdraws. So that is changed. If you would vote again. At this point, then, we have one person that is running, that's Councilwoman De La Isla.
You're fired. Okay, we have De La Isla, 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 and De La Isla. So we have 10.
Okay, 10 votes for Councilwoman De Isla. Then we will declare that Councilwoman De Isla and Jeffrey Cohn are the 2 voting members of JADO. Congratulations. Looking forward to serving you. Third item on the agenda is the MTPO, if the clerk would read.
C is election of city council representatives to the Metropolitan Topeka Planning Organization, MTPO Policy Board.
And just a brief background on that, I think for the public, this is a board that is an important one. It serves in a role actually overseeing federal dollars coming into particularly the highway programs It's a planning, it's for the city and the county, and the persons who serve on it are, there's a member of Kansas Department of Transportation, a member from the Transit Authority Board, a member of the City Planning Commission, 2 members of the City Council. The mayor is a part or appoints a person, and a member of the Shawnee County Commission. So that is the group. You can see it's really a more of a board at that level of elected officials who serve in this capacity. It meets monthly for council members, I believe 1:30 on the 4th Thursday of the month. And I think the people who, if you have that interest in serving in that area of the planning, of planning boards, and that important role, certainly encourage you to consider running. And with that, we will open it up for nominations. Councilwoman DeLisla.
I would like to nominate Brendan Jensen.
Brendan Jensen has been nominated. Councilman Hiller.
I would like to nominate Jonathan Shum.
Jonathan Shum, been nominated. Are there other nominations? Are there other nominations? Are there other nominations? We declare the nominations over. If you would take a green ballot and vote for 2 and sign your name. We have 2 nominations, Brendan Jensen and Jonathan Shum. This is about.
Thank you. We have Shum and Jensen. 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 Each receiving.
Based on that, we declare the 2 members of the MTPO, Jonathan Shum and Brendan Jensen. Congratulations. The next item is applications.
There are none.
There are no applications in this category, so we pass that. Then we go on to announcements, and the council members and the public, this is where the council members can make comments. Although the first, we have the agenda for next week. The city clerk provides an overview of the agenda.
So for the April 21st agenda, we will have 3 proclamations. We have no presentations at this time. On the consent agenda, we have several noise exceptions. On the action items, we have a special event ordinance. We have a revised petition, project budget, and resolution for a sanitary sewer project in the Kansas Education and Science Park. We have 2 expenditure ordinances. And for discussion items, the first one is on the city's financial review, forecast, and budget process. And then we will have a discussion providing an update on the status of the Heartland Park redevelopment district.
Okay, thank you. And then we have the city manager speaks first on this, on the announcements.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple of very brief comments. Just a reminder, we've got the TMTA bike share launch, which is tomorrow, and I'm sure other people may reference that, but that's at Washington University. And it's going to be a very significant event in the community, so I think there's many people that are going to be participating. I will be riding a bike, so that should make it fun. But it's at the Memorial Union tomorrow. Starts at 11 till about 1:30. Then also on Saturday, there will be the Sunflower Soccer ribbon cutting. The event is actually going to run from 10 to 2, and so there will be people from the professional soccer teams, Sporting KC members will be there. Harvester is going to have a canned food drive. There will be a bounce house which I am looking forward to, and some other activities. So it should be a lot of fun. The last thing that I'll comment on, and the city clerk made reference to it, during next week's meeting, we're going to have a very lengthy and detailed conversation pertaining to the Heartland Park. Specifically, people are probably asking you what's going on. What our plan going forward is to make that presentation as a discussion-only item next week. And then there's a break between until we get to the May 5th meeting. During that time frame, we'd like to have at least one and possibly two town hall meetings where we would provide an opportunity for citizens to come forward and meet with members of the council, and we'll talk about your schedule and your preferences on that as we go forward. And then on May 5th, we'd like to bring a resolution forward asking for this body to take a position as to whether they want to continue to proceed with Heartland Park based on the evidence that and information that's provided. And at that point, based on that determination at that meeting, we will continue to proceed with the sale of the bonds, or we will take whatever action is directed by this body. But I think it's very important, given the long discussion publicly that has occurred on this. I think it's important with this new body to sit down and have a determination as to how this body wants to proceed, so that we can either, that we can come to an end on this particular thing. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And the council members, we always start with the person who provides the invocation so that it rotates around who speaks first in the announcement. So tonight we go to Councilman Harmon. Okay, Deputy Mayor Hilber.
Thank you. A couple quick things. I too will be riding on the bike on one of those new red bikes. They were tried out, for those of you who weren't here, right in this chamber, a couple of weeks ago.
They work good.
And Sylvia can attest that they work great.
Very good.
So I'm looking forward to that. If you look around and are wondering where they are, the racks are installed and the bikes are out. So if you look in front of the library, out at Lake Shawnee, at Gage Park, downtown, and then of course at Washburn, they're already out, and it's a pretty snappy installation. So we will see how that all goes. Saturday morning also is the Bridge to Bridge run. I see Edie Smith from downtown Topeka Inc. here. That is it's a 5K run walk. You can sign up in advance, check out for DTI, Downtown Topeka Inc.'s website, but it is a fun event. You go across the Topeka Boulevard Bridge and back over the Kansas Avenue Bridge and end up at a spot downtown. So look for that. Also, this weekend is the second and last of the takeover makeover weekends in the NIAs. This weekend is the West Side. People that are involved should have gotten a card. There is enough volume that some people are being invited to put stuff out on Thursday night and Friday night this week. Others just Friday night, so people should check their cards, but definitely take that stuff to the curb and get it gone. There are also, related to that, maybe somebody else has got the details, chances to take your paint in and get it delivered, be able to take yard waste to the dump, and so on. So encourage everybody to participate. Thank you.
Councilwoman Clear.
Thank you. Concerts in the Park are starting in June, sponsored by North Topeka on the Move Association. I'll talk about those as they get closer to time. I want to remind everybody about the franchise fee credit program, that you can get up to $175 credit on utility bills. Income for 2014 must be less than $32,400. Must be over 55, or permanently disabled, or have dependent children under age 18. And you can call 233-1365. There's a September deadline, but there is limited money. So it's first come, first served. And then they mentioned we were talking about Heartland Park next week. And Mr. City Manager, does the city have an agreement with the NHRA on the race?
Yes, there is a contract that's signed with NHRA. We are continuing discussions with them. All of that information will be provided as part of the discussion next week.
So can we get it to prepare for next week?
We will provide information in advance.
So we can get a copy of that?
The NHRA document is a public document. You can have it. It's always been available.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Councilman Ortiz.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to welcome the new council members aboard. If there's anything that I could do to help you or make your welcome, your stay any easier, let me know. I've been here for a while, as long as Richard as well, so we'd be happy to help you with anything. I'm hoping to find a helmet to get to ride the bikes tomorrow because they are awesome.
I've got one.
Gosh, Karen. And I know that there's been a lot of people asking about the bikes, so I hope everybody will take advantage of that. A lot of excitement, so a lot going on in downtown as well, but they wanted to know where the bikes at downtown were going to be. Do we know that since downtown is all tore up, where they will be? City Manager, do you know?
I will find out, and there was somebody out here who knows, I'm sure, but I will find out and let you know.
In front of the bus depot on Quincy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, I think they were thinking in Kansas Avenue, so I'll make sure that we tell them. Okay. There will be some bikes in front of the bus station.
Okay,
Can
we
you
really can't comment from the audience, so.
Can she come to the mic, Mr. Mayor?
I think, is it true that they are at the Quincy station at 9th and Quincy?
But they will be
Okay.
downtown on Kansas Avenue as well.
But right now, they're at 9th and Quincy, I think that was the question, correct? All right, thank you.
And will they be available tomorrow?
Okay,
She
all
says
right.
yes.
All right,
So you
thank
can bike
you.
over to Washburn.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay. Councilman Shum?
I wanted to extend a special thanks to the city manager and all of the staff of the city for the orientation they've provided. I understand that it's unique in how thorough it's been for us new members, and I greatly appreciate it being brought up to speed and for the time they've spent, and to the current council for being so welcoming. And that's been deeply appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Elisra?
Thank you, Mayor Wolgast. Wanted to start by congratulating Highcrest on receiving the SORT grant and just the hope of there being some redevelopment in that area. There's going to be a meeting held on the 23rd from 6:30 to 8. At the NIA meeting on Thursday, there's going to be food being served for the people that are going to be there. We always have a great group of people from the Tzazo Fellowship Bible Church to just do a spectacular job with the net reach operation. So I invite everybody that's interested in participating in that. The only thing that I will just remind everybody is make sure that we include the landlords that are in that area, because although we have amazing residents that are in that area that may benefit significantly from this, that area is highly populated by these landlords that we need to reach out to a little bit more. So I would be more than happy to help the staff that is fabulous. The neighborhood relations staff has been working very hard on this, and I'm looking forward to seeing the great things that are going to happen. And to echo what Councilwoman Ortiz said, welcome to all of the new members. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. And thank you very much for the council members that served before. I look forward to a new council team and to all the great things that we'll do together for the city.
Thank you. Councilman Jensen?
I would like to echo my thanks for the orientation. It's a heck of a ramp up to get here in less than a week, and that was invaluable. So wonderful. I very much appreciate it. I too will be at the bike share program tomorrow. I think that's a wonderful thing for our city. I have seen bikes on Kansas Avenue. That program has an app for your smartphone, and that will pinpoint every bike that's available for rent in real time. So all you have to do is fire that up, and it'll tell you where they're at. I know in College Hill this weekend, they're doing a fundraiser at the Westminster Presbyterian Church on Saturday morning. It's a plant sale. I would encourage everyone to come out and check out the great things they're doing in College Hill. Welcome to all my new colleagues. I'm looking forward to this opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilman Schwartz?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ditto on the welcome. I'm going to enjoy getting to know each of you, and I think it's going to be a good council meeting, and we are not any longer the entertainment center for the residents of Topeka, because I think we do have very good meetings run by our fabulous mayor. I did want to bring up, I got a call yesterday in my district from Auburn Washburn, our school district, in one of our school districts, and they're doing a survey, and they're surveying through market research, and it was a fabulous survey. It only took about 3 minutes, but they're questioning how they should deal with the budget cuts with what is happening in the legislature. And they asked questions like, should we go to a half-day kindergarten? Should we change the bus transportation and that type of thing? But what I felt was, this is the kind of thing I was talking about, and the paper did not mention this quote that I had sent, that we cannot have a voter election on, having an election on the ballot, but we could do something like this. And we could find out if the residents of Topeka are wanting to support Heartland Park. So I would encourage, I will give it to the city manager what they did, but I would encourage us that this city should consider this. The other thing I wanted to mention was I have been on the Transient Guest Tax Committee, and we have talked about the visitor attractions that we have in Topeka, and the Dome is first, Capitol Building is first. So I have been in touch with Senator Schmidt and a couple other legislators, and she had sent an email from Tom Day, the Director of Legislative Administrative Services. The Capitol Building is open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. However, no tours are given except private tours paid for during those hours. There has been talk to have the Capitol open for more extended hours, possibly 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., with tours given on Saturdays, 10 to 2. So I encourage all the residents at Topeka to contact their legislators to try to get this $400 million Capitol building that we have now in our city open, so that visitors will spend the night and we will get more guest tax for the things that we spend that guest tax on. And then last but not least, the Get Down and Get Dirty is this weekend. Keep America Beautiful. I encourage everybody to get involved with that. And our Temple Beth Shalom has the brunch on Sunday, and my husband and I will be working the door, so please come to that. So,
Thank you. Councilmember Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to also thank the city manager and the staff. I got the crash course in a day. I really appreciate the time that you took to go over the elements of the city, and just wanted to tell you thank you for that. Also, thanks to the warm welcome that everybody gave me at the meeting. I really appreciate that too, and I look forward to working with you colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you. And you can see we have a lot of activities going on in our city, in all the different areas. And I would say, it's sort of a change, a passing occurs, the councils change, and we become one in a sense of working together. And in spite of all of the districts, our interests and all of that, we still work as a unit. We're only productive when we can have a group feeling, a group working together. And look forward, as you have said so well, becoming acquainted where we are, what we have a lot in common, our interest in the city of Topeka, and how do we make it better, and what do we do to improve each step of the way. So these are vital things, and we'll go through a few weeks, first month or two of learning together the process, and each council develops its own personality, how we function and how we work, and we can make changes, adjustments as we go along. So look forward to that future and what we'll be doing. Next item on the agenda is public comment. We have a number of people that have signed up to speak this evening. The first is Brian Cohen. Okay, Mr. Cohen is passing. Second person is Nick Scott. And if I could just say, and I think just again for the new council members and for the public, a person signs up to speak on public comment, and this is their opportunity to bring their views to the city, to address the city. It's an opportunity that they're talking to the council as a whole. They do not talk to us as individuals or make references to individuals. You're talking to the whole group. We do not enter into discussion, question and answer sessions, because it's here for them to present comments to us rather than an interchange. So that's sort of you got the opportunity, Nick, to hear the ground rules. And you have 4 minutes.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I live here in Topeka, and I'm here tonight to urge you to issue star bonds to purchase the remainder of Heartland Park. If you consider all the benefits the track offers the city of Topeka, attention, financial benefits, recreation, direct and indirect, and you compare that to the cost, you will see that the existence and use of Heartland Park is a benefit to Topeka. Heartland Park brings much out-of-town money to the city. Under the current situation, the state is offering free tax money from sales tax to Topeka. I urge you to take this deal. The alternative to not issuing star bonds is to raise property taxes. Please do not do that. My property taxes are already high enough. I ask you to issue star bonds to purchase the remaining interest in Heartland Park. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker is Chuck Hanna. Okay, Mr. Hanna passes. The next speaker is Jay Tuckness.
Could you pass these out to the people? My name is Jay Tuckness. I want to read to you part of a...
Mr. Tuckness, would you speak over into the mic a little bit closer so that
My name is
we're
Jay
sure we can
Tuckness.
hear you? Thank you.
I would like to read to you part of uncontroverted certified court records. This is case 2014LM4198. This took place on March 9th, 2015. This was in the Rebecca Crawfey's Court Division 1. It has to do with what I believe are improprieties on the part of the judges. It ties in with Heartland Park. Your Honor, may it please the court, I mean no respect, but due to both the plaintiffs answering during the second set of interrogatories and admission of facts, I have an unusual request for the court, and I'm unaware of how to proceed with this request, as well as the rest of my requests. First, due to both the plaintiffs answering interrogatories and admissions of facts, I requested the court to explain to me if limited action cases are contracted out by the court, and if so, how do these contracts specifically work? I have no concrete evidence on this, but I have a strong feeling it happens, and I can be wrong there. And if so, do these contracts go into the general court fund as well as what part of the general court fund goes in the judge's retirements from these specific contracts? Now, to get into the more important paragraph on page 2, it is more plausible that if the plaintiff does not have contracts, as in the plaintiff's answers to their second set of interrogatories and admissions, that the court contracts limited cases, and this is why, in my opinion, the court has not followed proper procedure as law mandated. It should and would clearly explain why the court had given a plaintiff over 3 months to answer a dismissal when the Kansas statute annotated 60, section 241 mandates 14 days. It would also explain why the court had failed to serve me with the notice of dismissal, as well as the November 24, 2014 AD proposed memorandum and order, in which constitutes ex parte communications in which violated my due process rights, as well as constitutes judicial misconduct, as well as blatant violations of Title 18, 241, Section 242, Section 371, Section 1001, and Section 2071 de Secator. They did not follow my procedure due process as clearly outlined and mandated by the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution. On October 9th of 2014 last year, the Chief Judge of the Limited Action Division, Larry D. Hendricks, issued a dispositive order, I believe under the Speedy Trial Act, of 6 months. The other side, all they had to do was answer within 17 days with a cow patty paragraph, and it would have been just fine. The plaintiff in this case is, yet once again, Core First Bank, either in the shadows or directly. I can speak pretty sure on this due that I have certified court records that dispositive motion was hidden by Judge Hendricks. I found out about it about 30 days later by accident. He stated he had a hearing, a full hearing, which I, the attorney of record, was not present for, nor the court reporter, nor the sheriff. And basically, in my opinion, he lied about his court order. This is the same Larry D. Hendricks that I'm beginning to get the feeling that maybe he might be a Core First appointee. This also leads to the other problem with my property taxes. They're inflated. Each time I go up for an appeal, it equals one of these folders. And they've always compared my property, a 2-bedroom house, to 3- and 4-bedroom homes, so they can take mom and pop who are in nursing homes and take their money, and people on disability retirements and people that can't fight back. This Heartland Park property taxes if we already own Heartland Park, why give them an extra 2.5 million when we can just get by on the 3? If it was making such great money, people would be trying to kill each other to get ownership on it. When was the last time it really made a profit? Other than the property taxes out of the helpless, my property taxes went from $55,000 or $50,000 down to $20,000 once I appealed it, but I could be wrong on his appointment.
Okay, that is, your time is up, if that completes
Thank
your
you.
comments. We'll take this, will be filed with your comments.
I thank you, sir.
Thank you for your
I
comments.
think an election would help everybody.
Thank you. The next person to speak is Joanne Peevler.
Good evening, council people. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to welcome the new members. Although I don't live in District 2, 4, 6, or 8, I find great reason to celebrate.
Okay.
And so I'm looking forward to some good things. Tonight I have some handouts here that I'd like to start over here, and then we'll talk about it. I'm quite sure that in your orientation, you've been talking about different statutes and so forth, but this is the state statute of executive sessions and why and how you can go into them. It's the law itself. It came off the internet, and it's from Derek Smith's office, our Attorney General. The other one that would be of interest, which was not available online this afternoon when I looked, is your Open Meetings Act, KOMA, Kansas Open Meetings Act, and they kind of go hand in hand. But I'm only here to say that I really feel that maybe in the past that some of our executive committee meetings are not, what should I say, according to Hoyle, that things are discussed there that could certainly be discussed in an open meeting. And to me, transparency is key to democracy. And so I hope that you'll think very seriously, and it's not uncommon or out of order for anyone in an executive meeting, if they see that things are going differently than what the meeting was proposed for, to just raise their hand and say, look, my constituents are smart enough to figure this out. Let's talk about this in an open meeting. So thank you very much, and I wish you all the very, very best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker is Joseph Ledbetter.
Not to be short on handouts, there's one for the clerk and one for the manager and one for all the voting members. I think there's one for Chad too, so feel free. Governing body, first off, I want to thank District 5, I won't say a name, for mentioning Highcrest, and that we have a very important event coming up this coming week. And I have the pleasure of getting to be the president of Highcrest yet again, and I really appreciate the people out there. I like working for them, I like helping them. And we had a very vigorous forum, again, per usual, in this campaign cycle. So if you ever have a chance to attend one of those, they're worth it. I want to, what I'm passing out is, this is a document that we handed out at the March 11th, 2005 JADO meeting. And I would really appreciate if you'd take the time to at least look at that and, are you okay? And understand where we're coming from as a group, that we have suggested a number of changes that need to be made. And this is probably not exhaustive, it's probably more. But we know that they've taken an RFP, or they're going to have an RFP to address concerns about JADO and some of the dysfunctionalism that's been going on for years, and some of the lack of accountability and transparency with Go Topeka and how they handle that money of $5 million a year. I want to point out on the record that last year there was a RFP that Go Topeka submitted for a 3-year contract, and they stated in that RFP that they would be subject to CORA in that new contract. They are subject to CORA whether they like it or not on everything. If there's an exception, it might be medical records. I'm not looking for medical records. I don't think they've got them, but I couldn't care less about some of the things they claim that they need to accept. I want to know where $5 million a year is going, where it's been, and I also want a copy, and our group, I don't want to say I all the time, forgive me, we want a copy of all their minutes going back at least 5 years. We want to know what they supposedly have done with all this money. And the minutes is a clear record of where you go, and I didn't have to go to law school to learn that, but I took a course called Business Associations, a very good course, very thorough, and that is the first place you start in an investigation of any organization is look at the minutes. That's probably why they don't want to give them to me, but I'm only conjecturing. We met with the manager today, 6 of us, and I appreciate his time. I know he's very busy. It was very good exchange of ideas and concerns. Some of the things that we put as our concerns are that we are really tired of the lack of public input into how this money is being spent on economic development. That's what our topic was, and JADO. We are very disgusted at any involvement in elections by the Chamber and Go Topeka, since they're both funded by public funds, and that's a record. Those are sworn statements that Doug Kinsger signs every year on his 990s. And that money is being transferred at almost $1 million a year to the Chamber of Commerce. I find no legal reasoning for that. I don't find it in the contract. I don't find it in any minutes of JADO or any budget approvals that they have permission to do that. It needs to be addressed once and for all. We're concerned with the high amount of overhead going to their organizations of about $2.5 million plus, possibly as much as $3 million going for overhead to run this program. And we want an exhaustive audit of what's going on with our money at Go Topeka / the Chamber of Commerce, because both seem to be funded by public money. I don't need any further time. I think I've stated it very clearly on the record what our group wants, and we look forward to seeing that happen this year. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. There is no other business before the group tonight, so therefore, I'm sorry, Mrs. Hiller is pointing out that we have Boy Scouts and we usually recognize them, but I don't see them. But if there aren't Boy Scouts, would they? I'm sorry. Thank you. And yell out, what troop are you with?
Troop 18.
Troop 18. Very good. Thank you. I'm glad, and we're glad you're here tonight. And we didn't mean to miss you. Being no other business, we are adjourned.
Hey, Jim, can I see you for a second?